The other day, I asked you guys to suggest a bunch of random actors and celebrities so that I could do a video attempting to connect them back to somebody from the Cars series, 6 Degrees of Separation style. Now, despite what I initially said in my community post, my goal here isn't really to do it in as few steps as possible. I just want to see what interesting connections we could make. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, Mackenzie Ebby suggested a few things. One of the ones that really caught my eye was Nick Cage. Now, Nick Cage has been in a lot of stuff, but the one that I came up with the quickest was that he was in the movie Honeymoon in Vegas, and also in that movie was Tony Shalhoub, who voices Luigi in the Cars movies. Now, Tony Shalhoub was only in like one scene of that movie, and I don't think he ever shared screen time with Nick Cage, if I'm remembering correctly, but that doesn't matter. As long as they were in the same project, I'm counting it. So, Nick Cage and Tony Shalhoub, who's Luigi, were in a movie together. Let's go to the next one. Now, Rashid Reviews suggested one of the more interesting ones I saw. He suggested Michael Angelis. Now, if you're here in the States like me, or in some other places of the world, you might not know this guy as well as some of my other viewers do, but he narrated Thomas and Friends, the UK dub, for 21 years straight. He did seasons 3 all the way through to season 16 of the UK version of the show. Now, this one I thought was going to be difficult, but then I realized something. You know who did the US dub for season 3? The first season Angelis did? George Carlin, who voiced Fillmore in the first Cars movie before unfortunately passing away before the sequels were made. So, I'm counting that one. Okay, in the UK dub, it was Angelis, but in the US dub for a few seasons that they both did, it was George Carlin, who's Fillmore in Cars. Next one. Alright, this next one is easily one of my favorites. Somebody suggested Squidward's voice actor. Of course, Squidward, one of the main characters of SpongeBob SquarePants. Another main character on that show is Mr. Krabs, who is voiced by Clancy Brown. Now, Clancy Brown is a veteran voice actor who's appeared in an absolute ton of stuff, and one of his voice roles was Surtur in Thor Ragnarok, the big fire guy from the beginning of the movie, who then comes back at the end and destroys Asgard. Thor Ragnarok, of course, also starred Tom Hiddleston, who played Loki, who got his own Disney Plus show, which co-starred Owen Wilson. Let's go! Now, I got a lot of requests for actors who appear in the MCU, but all of them are just so easy to connect to Owen Wilson through Tom Hiddleston because of, like, Infinity War and Endgame, so I just thought this would be a more interesting way to get to him with a Marvel connection. Okay, up next we have a request for Lin-Manuel Miranda. Now, this is one that I could think of a lot of different connections for, but this one is probably my favorite and also probably the most obscure. Before he was super famous, Lin-Manuel Miranda appeared in one episode of The Sopranos. Another actor who appeared on The Sopranos is this guy right here, Tim Daly, who in the 90s starred on a sitcom called Wings about a pair of brothers who run an airport, and also on Wings as one of the main characters, Tony Shalhoub, the voice of Luigi. The following segment contains spoilers from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yes, really, somehow connecting this next person to someone from Cars spoils the new Doctor Strange. So if you haven't seen it yet, and don't want to know a major actor cameo that was kept out of all the marketing, then skip to the time code on your screen right now. Alright, now it's time to somehow get to an actor from the Cars series by starting with Kanye West.
It's in my code. Have y'all ever seen Wreck-It Ralph?
So a few years ago, Kanye West did a song with Paul McCartney, of all people. Yes, really, that Paul McCartney, former member of the Beatles. According to his Wikipedia page, Paul McCartney cameoed in Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Now, I've never seen that movie, so I'm just going to trust Wikipedia on this one. Him being in that movie can't be weirder than him collabing with Kanye West. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, of course, stars Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp also appeared in Disney's Into the Woods as the Big Bad Wolf. That movie starred Emily Blunt, who is married to John Krasinski and also starred with him in A Quiet Place. John Krasinski recently appeared as Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, a movie that was directed by Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi features a cameo from Bruce Campbell in every single one of his movies, including Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where he played the character of Pizza Papa. Bruce Campbell voiced Rod Torque Redline in Cars 2 and Cars 2 the video game. So there! Alright, so 95 fans suggested the names of several singers. Most of these I'm not very familiar with. A lot of them are K-pop singers, which I'm not very familiar with, but I'll try with one of these anyway. I've heard of one of these groups, Blackpink. That's an all-girl K-pop group. So let's work with them. Ready? So, turns out this band has a song with Lady Gaga.
I'm Batman.
You're Batman.
Now, Lady Gaga has been in several movies, one of which most recently was House of Gucci, which also featured Jared Leto. Yes, that's him under like 400 pounds of prosthetics. Jared Leto, as we all know, starred in the greatest movie ever made, Morbius, as the lead character, Morbius. And who appeared in the credit scene of Morbius? Who appeared completely breaking the continuity of the MCU, despite the fact that Morbius isn't even an MCU movie? Why, of course, none other than Michael Keaton, who voiced Chick Hicks in the first Cars. There you go! We connected a K-pop group to the world's only more-billion-dollar movie. And it's all thanks to Lady Gaga. Thank you, Lady Gaga.
Hope the food's better in this joint.
And now for our final entry. Get ready. It's rewind time. Will Smith starred in the movie Hancock, where he played a guy named John Hancock, who's a reckless, egotistical superhero. You know, the type of guy who would just walk up to somebody and slap him in the face. Which, of course, Will Smith would never do. What are you talking about? In that movie, Charlize Theron played his ex-wife. She starred in Mad Max Fury Road as Furiosa, and also in that movie was Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy, of course, played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. And, you know who's in all 3 Dark Knight Trilogy movies? That's right, Michael Caine, voice of Finn McMissile in Cars 2.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
And there you have it, guys. A bunch of connections connecting people to the Cars movies. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I just thought it would be really funny to do and just show you some of the crazy connections you can make from person to person. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to leave some more names in the comments below. Maybe I'll do a part 2. And also let me know what sort of connections you could come up with. I'll see you guys next time, and remember, Will Smith slapped a man and I'm still not over it.